seriously. We start telling our children at a very young age that they're expected to do chores and they're expected to have an apprenticeship through summer work or work while they're a student. Sometimes work creates new opportunities and new attitudes.
My first job, I worked at a Dairy Queen in Hopkins, Minnesota.
So my first job, I guess, was working as a lawnmower on a riding lawnmower.
My first job was washing dishes in the Manor House, which was a restaurant in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I proceeded to be a busboy after that.
My first job, I worked in a tax assessor's office when I was 16 years old, but the tax assessor happened to be my father.
My first job was working for a flower nursery in the display garden section.
Collecting empty soda bottles and turning them in.
My first job here in the States was data entry.
I became a licensed massage therapist at 18.
I was a lifeguard at a local athletic club. As a lifeguard at our neighborhood pool.
Working at Express in a mall by my house. My local Dairy Queen was my first job.
Hostessing at TGI Fridays, actually, and we were both 16.
A Kentucky Fried Chicken.
And Fuddruckers?
Starbucks as a barista.
Barista?
Babysitter.
A babysitter.
I worked in a library.
Unit secretary at Mount Vernon Hospital.
Engineer in a plant that actually made rockets.
I worked in a pharmacy for my aunt's husband, cleaning my dad's car.
It was my father's company, so he would dump out a big bale of silver flour on the floor and have me match up the patterns on the floor.
My father was a lawyer, and he thought that all kids had to work, so we had to work in his office. Every summer we worked in my father's office, filing.
Working for my grandfather in his printing shop. When I was a little girl, that's how I earned my allowance.
It definitely is something that you want to do again, something that shows that you were working and that you got some type of reward because you were working so hard.
It was how I paid lunch money and helped out my family.
I was about 9 years old, and it was very clear to me that there was a connection between what you do and what the results are that you get in life.
I think it started a work ethic. I mean, you had to show up.
It teaches you responsibility. It teaches you that no matter how many times you want to go out with your friends, sometimes you can't. I learned the importance of maintaining that commitment, that if I was scheduled to work, I needed to go to work.
That was my first job. They told me to do the dishes, and the second day I walked out.
A lot of the time it was sort of boring, like any one of those other, teenage jobs, I guess.
I learned very quickly how to take apart blinds.
I only got paid $1 an hour, and it was under the table, sort of.
I started drinking coffee when I worked in that office. I remember that. I still think about that often.
I probably learned a love of reading and a love of books, and actually very orderly bookshelves, which I maintain in my home. I have a very orderly library. Customer's always right.
Keep your manager happy.
You just really learn how to work with other people and deal with children and learn to be patient. That was a big thing I learned, patience.
I never did any more babysitting after that. I realized that I didn't have the patience with young children.
I'm a different person, but I sort of feel like with every day that goes by, I just appreciate more and more that I have always gotten to do the work I wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm looking for a career now where I can, in public relations, where I can work with people, because those little jobs really teach you a lot about, future careers.
What's your dream job?
Oh, I want to be a nurse.
Nurse?
Veritably, there are jobs for you if you keep doing what you love. I promise you there are.
Oh, yep, the value of work, hard work actually, pays off. You work hard, you enjoy after.
Tell that work is important to Americans because, for example, one of the first things you ask of someone when you meet them is, what do you do? we talk about people having a calling to do a certain kind of work.
For many of us, we couldn't get along without work.